The American Heart Association started the Go Red for Women movement to educate women and raise awareness about their number one killer, cardiovascular disease, so they can live fierce. We've made progress funding women researchers and including women in research studies, but we need your help. We need more people, men and women, pursuing STEM careers, especially women. Women occupy nearly half of all jobs, but less than 25% of STEM jobs. Your science and math classes in elementary, middle, and high school are probably pretty evenly split between boys and girls. But women earn only 20% of STEM bachelor's degrees. And only 3 out of 100 women with bachelor's degrees work in STEM fields after graduation. We need more women making solutions for other women. So this led to this. It makes sense. We're a science-based organization. Since 1949, we've invested more than $4.6 billion in groundbreaking studies to save lives. CPR, pacemakers, drug-coated stents, microsurgery are all saving lives every day because of our commitment to advancing science. Welcome to the next generation of innovators. Get ready to be inspired and empowered. Today is the day you get to be a hero. STEM can open new doors, new opportunities, new jobs. You get to decide what you want to be when you grow up. You can do anything you want, and we're here to cheer you on. Let's dream big, explore more, and live fierce. Because STEM is exciting, and today is your day.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the New York City STEM Goes Red digital field trip. Really excited to be here. I'm Mark Sullivan. I'm the Chief Revenue Officer of Financial Services at Salesforce. I'm also lucky enough to be the chairman of the STEM Goes Red committee today, and really excited to be part of this year. Why am I involved? I'm involved because I'm genuinely passionate about the STEM community. I'm genuinely passionate about pulling more women into the STEM community to make sure that they're able to, frankly, change the world, to really take on more responsibilities, to learn more, to have a bigger impact on their lives, on their communities that they serve, to potentially, influence some big change in the world that could happen from starting in the STEM community. So I'm so excited about it. There's so many things that can be done in this community that are just extraordinary. And I'm very passionate about making sure that people participate. Today, accordingly, you're going to hear from some of the most incredible leaders of the STEM community. You're going to learn about the different fields and opportunities in that community and how you might participate in that community. So it's going to be a very exciting day. But frankly, today is all about you. I want you guys to stay open-minded. I want you guys to dream big. I want you to think big thoughts. Don't be intimidated by any of it. Just lean into it and take advantage of this incredible content today, because you're going to learn a lot today. And hopefully some of you are inspired to think differently about how you might pursue an area of opportunity in STEM. I'm thrilled to have schools from all different areas participating today. I know some of you are from different boroughs and different regions, but this is an opportunity for you to all come together as one collaborative force to work together, to share information, meet some new people, and frankly, to have a little bit of fun. So that's really exciting, and I hope that you'll all enjoy that today. A quick did you know? Did you know that only 25% of all the STEM jobs in the world, only 25% are held by women? I think that's ridiculous. And we need to do better to make sure that more people are involved in the STEM community. Of all the women that graduate from college, only 12% go into STEM fields. And I think there's such an opportunity to improve that, to get more women involved, frankly, in changing the world. So that's one of the reasons that we're here today, is to hopefully provide some inspiration. I want to thank our sponsors. Thank you all sincerely for your contributions and your commitment to this extraordinary community. I also want to thank our Leadership Council for STEM Goes Red. I'm so proud to be part of that, but those people are incredible and they do amazing work to make sure that we are able to have this event each year and to have it today. So thank you all sincerely for your contributions and for your sponsorship. A couple quick reminders is We can't do amazing things in this world and dream so big in the STEM community if we don't take care of our own health. And 1 in 3 women will pass of heart disease. So the American Heart Association really focuses on that. And the challenge with that is most of that is preventable. Just get out in front of it. Make sure you're engaged with your doctors. Make sure you're engaged in your community. Make sure you're doing all your physical checkups. You're doing the right things. You're not going to be able to change the world if you're not healthy. So please put your health first. It really does matter. So before you get inspired, make sure you're healthy. They're both tied together. You should be doing both. Speaking of healthy, I have the unique privilege of introducing you to Sonal Bhatia. She is the Chief Officer of Rare Diseases at Pfizer, and I'm really excited for you to meet Sonal and to learn from her today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. I am so happy to be here with all of you today and to be here as a proud American Heart Association New York City board member, as well as a STEM Goes Red executive leadership team member. My name is Sonal Bhatia. I'm a physician and I'm the Chief Medical Officer for Rare Disease at Pfizer. And I'm here to talk to you today about the importance of women in STEM careers and why we need more of you today in this field. Can you believe that out of one out of every 100 females that are pursuing a bachelor's degree, only 3% are going to be pursuing a STEM career within 10 years of graduation? That number to me is phenomenal. I think back to my own career. When I started to think about pursuing medicine and going to medical school, I can't believe that I am one of those 3 out of 100 that has actually made it through my career and still remained in a STEM career. Now, mine's been quite different, and I want to share a little bit about my journey. I grew up in a conservative family, and I am the first woman coming out of both my parental and my maternal ancestors to be within a career that is within STEM. So science, technology, engineering, mathematics. Women don't typically pursue these, and they certainly didn't in my journey and early on when I pursued my desire for medical school. So I had to fight those battles with my parents. I had to prove to them, why not? Why can I not go to medical school? And the answer was, well, there are other things women can do, and you also have to think about getting married and having children. That's true. Those are very important elements in every woman's life, but it doesn't mean we can't pursue that dream that we have. And that was my dream. And I chose to leave home to go to medical school in another country simply because time was of essence. And that was hard for me. It was hard to leave the comfort of my home and go pursue this career. But I was really determined. And it was a struggle for the first 2 years. And then I realized that when I put on that white coat during my white coat ceremony in medical school, I knew that it was because of the hope that I was providing to patients. That was what really kept me going through medical school and finally to go to residency. And I landed in New York to pursue my residency. And it was amazing to be able to experience all walks of life and learn through the journey of different women, patients, colleagues, how we could all collectively work and serve our patients. And then eventually, through my journey, I pivoted. I pivoted away from clinical practice. Yes, you're probably thinking, oh my God, after all what you struggled, you actually did that. But I pivoted because I felt at one point that we weren't actually able to develop enough in that toolkit that physicians needed to be able to provide to our patients. We were only working in one time point, and I wanted to be part of the future, the innovation, the ability to look at medicines and say, what else do we need? And how can we develop new technologies? And that's what led me to working at Pfizer and ultimately in rare disease, where we're bringing breakthrough medicines that are innovative, that haven't been tested before, that are meeting the unmet needs of patients who have no hope of a disease journey, that they don't know potentially what their journey is. It takes sometimes 10 years to identify what their disease is. And once they get to that diagnosis, there's no hope because there's no medicines out there. And I'm part of the team today at Pfizer that is bringing hope to those patients because we continuously innovate. We're thinking through different modalities and technologies to figure out what trial could succeed with the different platforms that exist today, and hopefully give them that hope that they seek in us. And that's what I do, and that's what I'm very passionate about. Yes, I'm in science, I'm in technology, I love math. We're engineering based on what we do at Pfizer. And most importantly, I have a team of various colleagues who look to me and realize that as a woman leader, they too have the potential to grow in their careers. They look at me and I'm serving as a role model for them, that they can raise their kids like I do in New York City, and they can have an exceptional career in STEM, and that I can now be a role model for my daughter who's 13, who's looking to seek her future career. And I'm hoping that this journey that I shared with you empowers you to think about what impact you can have in the future. Because as we think about the future, the economics today and the well-being of our future truly now depends in your hands. And as you pursue a career in STEM, only then can you be part of that equation to make our future much better than it can be. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you today. I really do hope you enjoyed my journey, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of the program today. Now let us move towards our next video, and I hope you enjoy this video.
Since 1924, the American Heart Association has been fighting heart disease and stroke and helping families and communities thrive. With 40 million volunteers and supporters, we've contributed more than $4.6 billion to life-saving research. With your help, we have saved lives. But our country still faces systemic problems that contribute to health disparities. Things such as a person's race, gender, income, and even zip code can impact their health. We believe everyone, no matter who they are, no matter where they live, work, or play, deserves to live their healthiest life. Our community initiatives are making a difference. They're helping to reduce barriers and increase equitable access to health and quality health care. We are working to impel leaders to adopt community-driven health equity plans that ensure progress toward addressing today's biggest issues. Almost 50% of Americans have high blood pressure. This silent killer is often undetected and untreated, and it disproportionately impacts historically excluded communities. We meet people where they are to help improve blood pressure care, self-monitoring, and connect community organizations with the right tools and resources to join these efforts. 1 in every 10 Americans is at risk for not having enough food or enough healthy food every day. We dedicate efforts and resources to increasing access to healthy foods while reducing the consumption of unhealthy options like sugary drinks. We advance these changes via increased screening and intervention for nutrition insecurity and clinical care, improved nutrition policy such as healthier kids' meals in restaurants, increased participation in nutrition programs such as school and after-school meals, and increased funding for local community-based entrepreneurs in food deserts. Tobacco continues to kill nearly 500,000 Americans every year, and an alarming 1 in 4 high school students nationwide reported using an e-cigarette, and targeted marketing has disproportionately impacted communities of color. We work with communities and schools to prevent youth from starting, support individuals in quitting, and tirelessly advocate for public policies and funding that supports those most disproportionately impacted by the burden of tobacco use. Heart disease is still the #1 killer of women, and women of color are at a 47% higher risk for stroke. Our initiatives address these risks, helping women take charge of their health. We are focused on closing the gender and ethnicity gaps in maternal mortality, research representation, and science and medicine careers. And when prevention efforts aren't enough, everyone deserves an immediate life-saving response. Today, where someone lives, their gender, or the color of their skin can greatly diminish their chances of receiving CPR, emergency services, and the quality health care needed to survive. We are working to end these disparities by ensuring places like schools and businesses require CPR training and emergency response plans that save lives. 911 operators can provide high-quality CPR instructions when someone calls for help, and hospitals are providing the highest quality of care. It's because of issues such as these that improving the health and well-being of our communities is essential for ourselves, for our loved ones, for our communities. We have one mission: to be a relentless force for a world of longer, healthier lives. Together, we will continue to make a difference. Join us.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here. Thank you to our wonderful speakers who came before me. I'm Dr. Rachel Maria Brown-Talaska. I'm the director of the Inpatient Cardiac Service Line at Lenox Hill Cardiology, part of Northwell Health, Hofstra School of Medicine. I'm happy you're here with us today. So let's dive right into our discussion about the importance of mental health and well-being. Mental health includes our physical, psychological, emotional state of well-being. How I like to think of it is the trifecta: your mind, body, and your soul. None of them are in good shape without exercising the other. So how do we keep this all in good shape? Well, we want to focus on our stress levels, our nutrition, our friends and family, also known as your social circle. And if you have a spiritual life, I also like to incorporate keeping that healthy as well. So sometimes when we're stressed, particularly, for example, during exam time, finals, midterms, or if we have a big project coming up, sometimes there's family stress, we can make poor choices, poor decisions, choose the wrong thing to eat. And I don't want to think of it in terms of right or wrong, more of like better or worse in terms of our heart and health. Right? So when we're stressed, our body says, I want something now. I want something that tastes good. I want something that's going to, satiate my taste buds and my brain that's demanding relief from this stress. And in stressful times, we want salty food, sugary food, fatty foods. That's just the evolutionary nature of stress, right? So we pick up things that are fast and easy, and we consume that. So what's fast and easy? Chips, fried food. They also taste great to our taste buds, and our brain gets a signal for us to eat more. So that's one of the ways that we react when we're in a stressful situation. Also, when we're stressed, we may feel less interested in doing healthy things, such as exercising. So instead of doing what would give your brain a healthy or positive boost, such as going outside and taking a walk, we may then become sedentary and become the dreaded couch potato, right? And just sink into that nice favorite corner pocket of the couch, right? But that's not going to give us long-term health benefits, and that's also not going to give us the short-term benefit in boosting your mood, right? It may be counterintuitive, but moving when you're feeling anxious, stressed, depressed even, tends to counteract that low mood. Right? So I would encourage all of us when we're feeling these triggers, right? And it could be at school, it could be at home, it could be with your friends, right? To think of, what do I usually reach for? Do I reach for solitude and sedentary behavior, not moving? Do I reach for salty, sugary, sweet snacks and unhealthy food choices that are maybe easy and fast to consume, but not best for my health? And then recognize those triggers and try to interrupt the process once it starts. This is a rather complicated question. If you look up in the literature, there's probably a few dozen answers to this, but there's, nature, nurture. Is it inborn? Is it learned? Is it external? I think it's a combination of many things, but there are significant influencers on our self-esteem, particularly if it is not initially very strong. So it's, in essence, right, your ability or your belief in your ability and your confidence in that ability, right? So who builds this up or who can potentially break it down? Parents, friends, or frenemies, teachers, others. Maybe you have a job, you're working part-time, before school, after school, or on the weekends, right? A boss or a colleague at the grocery store, at the library where you're volunteering or maybe working. These are influential people in our lives who can either build us up or break us down. And we want to focus on the words that we're hearing when we are being told something about our character. And we have to do an assessment. Do I hear things that uplift my character and build my character, or am I hearing things that make me question myself and my ability and my confidence in my ability? Now we have to be very careful. There is constructive criticism. That is a very welcome thing. But when the criticism crosses the line from being constructive into being destructive, that's when we have to raise the red flags in our brain and start screening what we receive from other people. In addition, self-esteem comes from how we reinforce those external ideas and thoughts and feedback. And what I mean by this is there is an internal loop that goes in all of our brains, even in mine and in my friends and my family. Everybody has this internal dialogue. It's a conversation you have with yourself when you look at yourself in the mirror and you start pinching things and you start criticizing things and you start looking at things that you don't like and you start saying, well, I don't like this and I don't like that. And then it starts bleeding out into other areas, maybe some action. I'm not great at this. I'm not great at that. Then it may go into ability to perform on an exam, on the soccer field, on the basketball field. I'm the worst, fill in the blank. I could never be, fill in the blank, right? These are fatalistic thoughts, right, that tear us down and lower our self-esteem. If our self-esteem is low, which, personally speaking, my self-esteem has been low from time to time, what can we do to boost our self-esteem? We touched on this a bit in our last segment, but there's a few key tools and tips that you can take away from this. One, surround yourself with those who treat you kindly. And what do I mean by this? People who have compassion, people who have empathy, people who you trust, people who believe in you, people who encourage you, people who want you to succeed, right? And the people who you don't want around you are the people who do the exact opposite of those things I just mentioned, right? So people who are positive, affirmation, building blocks in your life. Say helpful things to yourself. Don't be a narcissist, but on the other end, don't be fatalistic. There is a fine balance, right? So you want to be honest with yourself, but kind. I think that is the key word throughout this entire session that we want to remind ourselves of, is kindness to yourself will not only build your self-esteem, but keep it intact. So when you tell yourself, well, I didn't do a good job with this, right? I didn't do well on that test. I was mean to my parents yesterday. I was mean to my sibling. I didn't fulfill a task. Instead of telling yourself you're the worst human ever, you're never going to get it right, you're never going to get that A, you're not going to have any friends, right? That's not helpful, right? So we say to ourselves helpful things, right? Is this something that I would say to my best friend if my best friend was sitting right here and looking at me with tears in their eyes and asking me for help? Would I say these very same things to my friend sitting next to me? And I believe most of us would say, no, I would be kind. I would show compassion. I would be empathetic to my dear friend. And that is the exact same action you want to take with yourself. If you're thinking, well, I want to change my lifestyle. How can I achieve a heart-healthy lifestyle at my age? I'm relatively young. I've got lots of temptations. that, are dragging me into the chips and dip aisle, right, and keeping me up late at night attached to my iPad or my iPhone or on the gamer, right? What can I do now that's achievable, right, that I can do in my limited amount of time as a busy teenager or preteen to improve my heart health and mental health? Well, I got some tips for you. In a nutshell, it's all about achievable goals, small bite-sized pieces. In terms of exercise, if you're doing nothing, do something. If you are already doing something, do a little more of that something. Every little bit helps, but being sedentary is the enemy. Number 2, watch that sleep pattern. Sleep is your best friend. However old, however young, however middle-aged we are, right? We all need sleep to restore our brain function and help our memory. So all those tests you need to study for, all those math equations you need to tuck inside that brain, and all the books that you put under your pillow like I used to do when I was in high school, right? Those memories will start to congeal, will take form as you sleep. So please put down the phone, put down that gaming console, put down that iPad at a reasonable hour and catch some Z's. The next thing, get outside. Nature is your friend, right? If you just put your face outside during, I hope you still have recess, but maybe after school when there's some sun, maybe some clouds, even some rain, right? Fresh air into the face, feeling the wind blow on your skin, even for 60 seconds, will do your mental health and your physical health a lot of good. In closing, if you have a practice of meditation, of prayer, of self-reflection, of some sort of mindfulness activity, I would strongly urge you to continue that practice. If you are not yet practicing any of these sort of self-reflective activities, meditative activities, it may be something that's of interest to you. It may be helpful to you just to take a couple of seconds, 30 seconds, 60 seconds of deep belly breathing, of calming your breath, of being in tune with your body and checking in with how you're feeling can do a world of good, both mentally and physically. So on that note, those are my tips and tricks for how to sort of comprehensively attack what we call a heart healthy lifestyle. And one more thing, smoking, vaping, nicotine addiction is on the rise in young adults. This is a killer. I want to stress, smoking, vaping, nicotine product use, it is dangerous for your heart. Inhalation of tobacco smoke and vaping products will damage the lung tissue significantly. It will also have effects on the arteries of your heart. It will also have effects on your brain function. So think carefully before you pick up a cigarette, before you pick up a vape pen, before you start that nicotine chew. It's your heart health, it's your brain health, it's the health of your lungs, not just now, but also in the future. So on that note, please stay tuned to our upcoming video.
E-cigarettes contain nasty stuff you may never have heard of, never wanted to hear about, but should. There's cadmium that's found in your laptop battery.
And arsenic. It's a type of rat poison. Also benzene, which you can find in car exhaust.
Then there's the big one, nicotine. Nicotine messes with your brain. It can make you more anxious and make it harder to concentrate.
Thanks to the tobacco and vaping industries, kids are getting hooked on e-cigarettes. Weren't we supposed to be the first generation to grow up nicotine-free? I guess it's easy to see how we got here when you look at the facts.
In 2020, while the world was in full pandemic mode, tobacco companies spent $8.4 billion marketing specifically to our generation. Yeah, I said billion with a B. That's $23 million a day spent trying to get us hooked on their deadly products.
But what they forgot is that we're the generation of change. We're the generation of we instead of me. We rise up and fight for things we believe in. And I don't know about you, but I'm a firm believer in keeping my friends safe and healthy. E-cigarettes and tobacco products are dangerous, plain and simple. So let's do something about it.
Let's raise our voices and share the truth about how dangerous they are so that no more kids like us become a statistic. We can do this together.
Thank you, Dr. Brown, for sharing such an important message with our students today. Good afternoon, students. My name is Betty Smith, and I am the CIO of the Foundational Insurance Business for New York Life, Chair Emeritus, and a member of the New York City STEM Goes Red leadership team. I'm excited to be here with you today. Since the inception of the New York City STEM Goes Red 5 years ago, I am both pleased and honored to say that my company, New York Life, has been a proud sponsor of this critical initiative. We believe an equitable future begins with equal access to a high-quality education. Through our partnerships, we work to provide all students with the resources and experiences they need to realize their potential. I hope you will take advantage of all the interactive, engaging sessions and touch points planned for you. At this time, I'd like to share a little more about what you can expect as a participant after today's digital field trip. Following today's program, we invite you to visit the Agenda tab on the New York City STEM Goes Red Visible website to complete our online STEM-related activities, strategically crafted by our event sponsors to help you explore the exciting world of STEM. There are a variety of breakouts to explore, and information on how to complete activities will be housed within each agenda item. As you begin to complete activities, you will be rewarded with giveaways, graciously donated by our sponsoring companies. We hope that you have a lot of fun with the activities, as well as learn more about the STEM fields. Please take pictures and share your experience on social media using hashtag STEM Goes Red and hashtag Go Red NYC. We are now ready to move on to the mentorship part of our program. If you joined as a guest for the opening remarks and will not be continuing in the program as a mentor, it is at this time that we bid you a farewell as our kickoff has come to a close. Thank you for joining. To our inspiring mentors and students, we are so excited to have you participate in the rest of our STEM Goes Red digital fall field trip. In just a few minutes, you will hear from some incredible men and women who are pioneers in the world of STEM. You will learn more about the opportunities that exist within these ever-growing vital fields and how you can take the first steps in pursuing your own dream. Our mentors are here and ready to answer all of your burning questions. We will try to get to as many questions as we can. Each of your mentoring sessions will have an AHA staff person moderating the session. They will have further instructions for each group. Before we break out into our first session, let's take a much needed fierce 5-minute break. Being active is a great way to maintain our physical and mental health. Let's move more together with national sponsor Orange Theory now.
Now it's time for your flexibility block. It's a 5-minute block with 5 stretches. Flexibility improves your range of motion, and it can help you to reduce stress. Give your heart some love right now. So your first stretch is going to be your standing quad stretch. You're going to hold on to something if necessary. Beautiful. Your second stretch is going to be your back and shoulder stretch. You're going to hold on to that chair, reach down, feel the stretch in your lats, your back. Beautiful. Now, we're going to have a seat in your chair, and we're going to do an overhead lateral reach. Beautiful. Getting those obliques, your sides. Make sure you're holding 2 to 3 seconds, full breaths throughout these stretches. Next stretch is going to be your seated spinal twist. Hold on to the back of that chair, really looking back over your shoulder. Great. Last one is your overhead tricep stretch. Put your hand right in the middle of your back. This should feel really good after everything that you've done so far today. Beautiful, you guys. Now that you've taken care of your heart, you've taken care of everything, enjoy the rest of your day. You have the rest of the day to be comfortable.